top focus, the filmmakers of the film Lipstick Under My Burkha, in finally getting a certificate to release their film after a delay of 8 months now, have released a thought-provoking poster on the extreme right of your screens, pointing the middle finger there, no surprises to whom exactly, given that the CBFC, their main war was with the CBFC, wherein which the CBFC had denied it a certificate for release altogether. They then went to the Film Appellate Tribunal, the FCAT is what it's known as, which instructed the CBFC to give the go-ahead for the film to release in a week's time, so the final date having been decided being the 21st of July. They've shared their victory in the form of this poster. We're going to be getting in further inputs here on this in just a bit, but it's important to note the kind of reasons that the CBFC had given out, with the chief Pahlaj Nihalani denying the certificate, saying that the movie is lady-oriented, has portrayed women's sexual preferences, saying not suitable for it to be released. We have with us our correspondent for entertainment, Uday Pratap Singh, with those details on how the filmmakers here have chosen to hit back with this victory in a very provocative poster there, Uday.
Well, absolutely, Seher. It is extremely shocking, of course, that the censor board, in a very arbitrary decision, had not allowed this film to release, but had allowed others, as we were saying, raising various questions as to what parameters are they certifying movies by. You know, and that's why, of course, it's a very unabashed poster that has come out from the Lipstick Under My Burkha team, because they have finally won their battle against the censor board and finally decided on a release date of the film, which is the 21st of July. So they're boldly, of course, proclaiming it. And yes, it is, of course, a message that is it time to stop.
That's right. Uday, please stay with us. Please stay on with us. Getting in a word here from the filmmaker, the director of the film, Alankrita, I beg your pardon, Srivastav, there with us. Many thanks for being with us. Many, of course, have been saying that it's a great victory for you and your team. But should you really be going ahead with this nature of a provocative poster?
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with the poster at all. I think it's a fun poster. And as far as I'm concerned, I feel the poster symbolizes the fact that it's really important to defy patriarchy and, you know, and do it with the relish of like a lipstick stick. So I think it's about, you know, rebelling, but rebelling also in a way that sort of we can all actually stand up to a lot of things that are not right, and sometimes even do that through small you know, acts of subversion. So I think it's a fun poster, and I think we should have like a sense of humor. And the truth of the matter is that 50% of the population, nearly 50% of the population of the country is women, and I think it's really important that we are given space to speak out and tell our stories. And considering this is a country where there is so much discrimination against women and so much violence against women, I think it's really crucial that popular culture gives us enough space to share our experiences.
Absolutely.
And tell our stories.
Alankrita, that poster also being seen as a twin target, not just speaking out against patriarchy in society, but also what you and your team has faced with the CBFC as well. It was quite literally an all-out war, wherein which you were denied a certificate altogether, leave alone one particular type of grade being given to your film, but outright denied a certificate, which is why you had to approach the FCAT and had this delay of 8 months in the release of your movie.
Sorry, so what was your question?
That your poster, your poster is a message to the CBFC as well.
No, the poster is about saying that it's the poster is really like against patriarchy and a patriarchal order that we all sort of live in, and it's about the fact that women should be allowed to have their small little dreams or their big fantastic dreams, whatever it is that they want, and they can't be told constantly.
Right, and you feel that it was the patriarchal mindset which also perhaps stopped your film from being releasing?
Of course.
Yeah.
What else is that? Like the CBFC completely represents a patriarchal sort of mindset, and it was a very regressive sort of decision on their part to not certify the film. And of course, I mean, that is it. It was either coming from that, or there was no other explanation for it. So of course, the decision of the CBFC was a very patriarchal decision. It was like, 50% of the population should just keep quiet. We are not interested in your stories. We don't want to know what you feel from your own point of view. There should only be one mainstream narrative and one perspective. That was a sort of messaging that that we got, which is why we had to go to the FCAT, and we're very grateful that the FCAT, at least was able to see the situation in the proper light and actually tipped off the CBFC, because they said that, in fact, the wording of their judgment was pretty clear that the CBFC was really, not doing the right thing by not certifying the film.
Alankrita, do you feel that it's unfortunate in today's time on what the kind of experience several filmmakers, several mainstream big banner name commercial filmmakers as well have had to resort to the option of going to a tribunal or going to a high court there to get the release of their film, because the CBFC has been continued to create roadblocks in an ad hoc manner?
So, I think definitely there are two aspects to it.
Okay.
One, we are very, very fortunate that this is a democratic country, and therefore we have recourse to things like the tribunal and the court. If that were not the case, it would really be the death of us. So that's something that we should be very, very grateful for. And it's good that there is a system and we can utilize it, and it kind of works. But on the other hand, the very fact that we have to sort of go through this process, it means there's something wrong, because we're a free and democratic country. We should not be having to live with this system of censorship. And the other thing is that this censorship is not new. I know it's a lot in focus these days, but the truth is that this is post-independence, we've been living with this kind of heavy-handed censorship. Earlier you couldn't even, people were not even showing two people kissing. That was true before independence. But post-independence was like showing two flowers come together and stuff like that.
So
I think there is a problem with censorship per se.
Okay. But do you feel that this new poster, given that your film has been screened in film festivals abroad, has gotten a thumbs up, has won several awards and certificates abroad in film festivals as well, this new poster of your movie, which is out post the kind of battle that you've had to fight with the CBFC, is still keeping in resonance with the original message of the film?
I think the film has taken on, for its India release, a very different kind of tone, because, when I set out to make the film, it was just a film about the lives of these four ordinary women and their secret acts of rebellion, how they're trying to sort of chase their
but coming back only with a stronger message. That's right. Alankrita, many thanks. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it at that. Apologize for the interruption, because